I knew I shouldn't have had that extra spicy chicken wing. I don't feel so good. In the last episode, we got injected with something. We got some googlies running around in our system. So our movement is massively restricted. We can still backflip though, which is pretty cool. But we can't air glide, which sucks. And I don't think we can use our powers either. Yeah, no powers at all. Which means if you upgraded yourself, it's just pointless. You wasted all that money. You might as well have gotten something a little more quality of life, a universal ability. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna go forward and we're gonna see if we can solve this little bump in the road so that we can get back to our regularly scheduled chaos.
Man, you look like shit. This might help.
Hope Idaho was an experiment.
How could you possibly know that?
The people I've killed, they're in me. I can hear them, see the things they've done.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I can understand it all. I'm supposed to do these things, but it's right. I can feel it.
Find Ragland and ask him about McMullen.
He learned that trick from Batman.
My back feels like it's beating on me.
Well, that's interesting. The parasite has rendered your powers useless. Things don't stay long enough for me to... Oh wait, I can glide. Okay, so it looks like movement is unimpeded, which is useful, considering I don't really want to travel the overworld basically crippled. Because the movement is probably the most fun in this game. Like the killing and the murdering and the brutalizing, it's all great. But there's something about just the flow of movement that really loses my mind in it. I guess you could say it's similar to Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man on PS4, PS5. The combat's, you know, it's nothing special. It's just kind of a copy-pasted Arkham thing with a little more flashy web-crawling flair to it. But it's the movement. It's the web swinging, the zipping. And it's not even a complicated system. You know, Web of Shadows probably did something a little more innovative, but there was just something about the way that the swinging was in the PS4 version that just felt organic. I know a lot of people would buy that game just for the swinging. Something just in it. I'm rambling too much, but there's something in it that just felt really, really good. And it's something you could do for hours outside of the game. Right, so here we are at the morgue.
What is it you want exactly?
Your help stopping the virus.
Why?
You could say I'm symptomatic. So pick a side.
I'll tell you what I know. But first, we need to find where the military has Patient Zero.
This is one thing I missed from the second game. The strike team genuinely feels like a threat. In the second game, and I'm not sure if it's just because they put in the finisher aspect, like, you could just press a button and they all die. And it just takes away from the threat of humanity. Like, I'm literally dying here. And I can't shake them, even though I have superhuman speed. I really need a better way of dealing with helicopters though. Maybe I'll go for the Whip Fist ability as my next upgrade. The Whip Fist is the best item in the game. I don't know why I said it like that. Sometimes you have to keep yourself not guessing, but you have to keep yourself entertained. Because it is crazy, you know, playing a video game by yourself, but you're recording it. I genuinely think content creators of any level, of any kind, a little bit crazy. You know, you have to be. You talk to yourself playing video games. Ah, bollocks. Okay. It's one of them. I'm just going to take a seat there. I'm just going to take a nap. Reconstitute. Come back. It has to be right in front of Gentech HQ. Let's take out the one here. He seems to be getting stuck. Oh, I didn't get detected. I just blew up an entire tank and they just said, okay, occupational hazard. Great. We've costed so much money to the government. They do not have this much. It's impossible. Physically, metaphorically, spiritually, it's impossible to have that much money.
It was perfect. They used Karen to get to me. Used the genetic material I'd collected to make a weapon to try and take me out. By the time I discovered she was working for Blackwatch, she was gone. But I had a bigger problem. A weaponized cancer was eating me from the inside out. I needed a doctor, okay? A special kind of doctor. I needed Ragland.
How did it feel to be infected with something you couldn't control?
Like, my own body wanted me dead.
Did you ever consider how the parasite felt? An intelligent cancer ripped from its host?
Yeah, I did. Once. Right before I killed it.
%49% of the total population infected. So what happens when we get to 100%? What happens? There's no living tissue. It's all just denatured material, right? It's all infected material, viral material, whatever you want to classify it as. So how does the virus actually... What's the word I'm looking for? It begins with a P. It's a word that begins with P. I had it in my head for like 3 seconds and then I just lost it. Propagate? Is it propagate? Is that the word I'm looking for? How does a virus propagate? Does a virus propagate? I'm not sure if it does, but I like the word propagate. Sounds fun. But yeah, if it doesn't have anything to thrive on, then what? Does it just start eating itself from the inside? And even then, does it reproduce? How does it reproduce if there's no base? Does it create? Do people eventually become resistant to it and a new breed of human comes out? But then they don't have intelligence because it's akin to a zombie like that. I'm thinking way too much about this, but it's what keeps me entertained. As I run through the streets of New York, everyone thinks, what's Alex Mercer thinking about? What kind of craziness is going on in his mind? Does the virus have feelings? And if so, am I the bad guy?
Technology rejected.
How?
Cut off its food supply.
If I'm
Okay.
gonna get Raglan to those bodies, I'm gonna need some armor.
That actually fit into what we were talking about. That actually fit into what we were talking about earlier. You know, just before we hit the cutscene. Cut off the food supply, the virus doesn't survive. So whether you have total infection or whether you isolate it, the end goal is the same. So essentially it ends with humanity wiped out. That is the end all be all. What am I doing here? I'm supposed to be getting a tank, right? I should have been focusing, but I'm not. I'm probing my... Ah, shit. We were having an intellectual discussion and you ruined it with your guns. And now you've made me upset. It is strange that they'll have people walking around when you have tanks roaming the streets, knowing fully well these things can crush a human in under 3 seconds flat. It's just kind of... It just seems like very poor planning that you would have a bunch of people just still going about their day. You know, there's a tank on the street, but it's all good, you know. Lunch rush is here. That guy's just schmoving. What the heck? I respect it. He understands the situation and he raises the bet. This is what I'm saying, like, you can't drive a tank and feel bad about killing people when they're running in the streets. There should be martial law if you're gonna have a tank. Otherwise, look, if I had to be careful of everything, this is how I would drive. Like that, and then maybe this way, and then, oh, hold on, I've destroyed that lamp. Then I'll have to go this way, and then I'll have to go this way, crush a car, hope there's no one in it, and now look at this. Just, he's dead, okay, just gotta be, oh, these are all infected people. Speaking of which, if there are infected people, that is definitely another reason for martial law. There should be a quarantine zone. People should not be out in the street buying groceries. That just seems like poor planning. Who made this rule? Who decided all of this? I mean, this section of the game is where the God Maker aspect kind of falls a bit flat. You know, because you're kind of restricted to guns. And it's just not... It's no longer this chaotic, oh, just walk into a base and murder everyone. It's now, you know, I'm basically a human. Put an army outfit on me. Actually, better yet, look, now it's exactly like I'm a human. Slowly breaking it down. The Hunter Dirt Nap, definitely a useful ability here. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay, now it's time for hyper-focus time. Oh, it's done. Perfect.
Let's get up.
I still have to kill them. That's the bloody and their words.
Interesting. I'll get this under a scope. Come back in a few hours. I'll have an analysis for you.
Damn, he must be really good for him to be able to analyze a brand new virus and produce. So he's not only analyzing the virus, he's analyzing a virus within the virus, and it only takes him about a couple of hours. Damn, Ragland. Your talents are wasted in a morgue. He would be one of the world's leading virologists. If it wasn't for Dr. Alex Mercer. If only we had these kind of doctors during Corona, it would never have spread as far as it did. These guys are seriously, like, on it. They're on point with this virus. I am now helicopter certified. Your safety is my #1 priority. Instantly start shooting artillery at the groundsman. I do find the idea of consuming other creatures cool as well, because it contextualizes why Alex Mercer knows how to do all of these things. Like, how does he know the call signs? Because he ate someone who knew the call signs. How does he know how to be a famous artist? Because he consumed a famous artist. How does he know how to do your plumbing? Because he consumed a plumber. You never know what he's learned and who he got it from. But then that could also work in a very negative way too. You could learn some very bad habits as well from people. Well, it depends on what he actually takes from someone. Can he be selective with what he takes? Ow, 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 ow.
Man, I hope this works.
Right. Go be free. Is it done?
Now.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because I recognize the area. I said this is the area where you're supposed to consume him. I need to roll out of the way. That move is ridiculous in terms of stun lock. He stopped me from eating? How dare you? Do you not see the good soup that is everywhere? So are we done with super cancer now? I forget. Oh yeah, we are. Oh, and we also get one of my most favorite abilities. I think. Yeah, the armor. I love the armor. It's such a cool ability. It's such a cool concept too. Oh, and the blade?
I'm back.
Yeah, boy. We got the blade. Oh, I love the armor so much. Now, the armor does have, obviously it does have, you know, its pros and cons. The blade, all you need to know is don't read the text. Just know that the blade is OP. It's just ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, so armor is just, it is exactly what it says on the tin. You get so much more defense, but you move like a brick in water. Your height is reduced, your speed is reduced, you're just, yeah, you can't glide even, but you look so cool. Luckily you can still backflip. I do love the ability to backflip. Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff. I am going to relieve you of your vehicle. It's alright, I'm with the FBI. This is necessary for public safety. Ah, look at all this. You can barely tell there's an infection going on. Zombies? Nah, never heard of them. Okay, so we're finally back to tip-top fighting shape. The food poisoning has passed. He's ready to go, he's ready to dice. And he's ready to jump back into the world when we see you in the next episode. Take care now.